It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of healthcare, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive a free ebook written by your MedicareLady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
Hi there, how are you? Just want to let you know that if you want the free Medicare ebook, just email me at wow@omgtalk.com. That's wow@omgtalk.com. Put in the subject line, I want the free Medicare ebook, Paul, written by your Medicare lady. And that's my better half. And I give Tony the last word, so I'll be right back.
You have been listening to the OMG podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG podcast segment.
And thank you, Tony, as well from trcvoiceovers.com. That's trcvoiceovers.com. Tony Raimondo in Arizona, I believe. He is not AI. He is an amazing voiceover artist. If you need a professional voiceover, look up Tony at trcvoiceovers.com. And I want to introduce our speaker, so I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Paul Finkelstein is a popular name. So popular that there's 50 people on LinkedIn, at least 50 people around the world, that have the same exact name as this speaker, Paul Finkelstein. And I'm just going to get a little closer to the microphone as well. This also could be on Facebook as well as other social media platforms. So there could be hundreds and hundreds of people with the same last name and first name as myself, Paul Finkelstein. Works great. This is Paul Finkelstein. This Paul Finkelstein, though, doesn't like to stay in the lines because he likes to think bigger than that. And how about yourself? Unless you're okay with the status quo, mediocrity, or never getting a raise from your job or business ever, you don't want your revenue increasing. You want to stay flatline in your income. You don't want your portfolio to rise. You just want the same amount, 2%, 3%, 5%, like milk. Then you're probably not going to be interested and will find this next speech extremely boring. But that being said, I do invite you to have a big open mind to some new concepts for you, perhaps. And stick around for the next 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, or the next hour. So Paul Finkelstein, dream big. Dream big, Paul Finkelstein. Hi, everybody. I'm Paul Finkelstein. And why dream big? Any particular reason why? Anybody have a show of hands why it's so important to dream big? Well, before I even get into that, I just want to see if we're more alike than we are different. So I wanted to find out if any of you, lay a show of hands, maybe 3 things that I did in my life and see if you did those 3 things. I'm going to take you way back when I was in high school. Anybody here, their brother or themselves actually mowed the lawn when you were a teenager? This is before you got a driver's license, you decided, hey, I want to get a license. I want to learn how to mow lawns. And your family had a lawnmower sitting in the garage. It collected dust. Nobody wanted to use it. They said, hey, if you do this, I'll bribe you and give you some extra cash or something so you can go out on the weekend. I said, all right, I'll do that. I'll mow the lawn. Well, the first 2 weeks, it was a honeymoon phase. And then after that, it was like, oh, my God, I have to mow the lawn again. But if you mowed the lawns, maybe we're more alike than we are different. If you mowed the neighbor's lawn across the street, maybe we're more alike than we are different. If you mowed the whole block and somebody else's block and you had to put the lawnmower in the back of her trunk, tie it down with bungee cords in the trunk, go all the way around to that neighbor's house on the other side of the block or across town with the lawnmower, then we're more alike than we are different. And I couldn't mow the lawns in the wintertime, so I had to come up with some other way to make money. And there was something called a snowblower. And that snowblower, I can make money with that. And that was the taste of entrepreneurship, is being responsible and putting in the effort and maybe even looking for some more business and knocking on a couple of doors so I can make some extra bucks so I can go out on the weekends. So if you did that, snow blowing, mowing the lawn. Or the third one is, did you ever work in a kitchen? Or did you ever prep any food for that kitchen, for that restaurant? Or did you wash dishes? All the aspects of a restaurant, in the back, in the kitchen, waiting on tables, you name it, I did that. I didn't say I was the best in the world, but I did that. Were you in the best of the world? Let's hear your comments, how great you were. I definitely could. I used to put that tray on my hand and walk through the dining room and see how much plates and never drop anything. Are you the kind of person that puts so much plates on your arms and on that serving tray and get it across back into the kitchen, serve people, and not drop anything? And we're more alike than you are different. Well, if you could balance plates on a tray, then perhaps maybe you could start your own business. But we'll talk about that a little bit too. But we're not going to talk about any specific business as well. But I do have some vehicles that maybe you might be interested in. You could always reach me by putting some comments in the chat. Thanks so much, Xavier. I really appreciate that. Maybe you've been listening to my prior. So thanks so much. I'll give you some shout out as well. But why dream big? Maybe perhaps you want to go where the sun spends the winters on the beaches of the world. Is that something that excites you? And can you do that with your existing job or your existing business? Or you're feeling stagnant, or you want some motivation or an inspiration? Or perhaps maybe you want to go where my wife and I did, to the ruins. See the ruins in Athens, Greece, at the Parthenon. Is that something that interests you? Or put some comments of what your dreams are, because dreams are so personal. So feel free to do that if you're listening to this on my social media. But here's a story that I wanted to share with you. And that's, when I was 13 years old, my mom threw me a birthday party. And that birthday party was called not the birthday party, but the game that the DJ said, hey, the DJ said to the kids that were on one side of a dance floor, hey, Red Rover, send Johnny over. And all the kids ran to the other side of the dance floor. The last one there was out. You ever heard of that game? If you heard of that game, Red Rover, put something in the comments in the chat as well. Well, we played that when I was 13 years old, but I equate that game. It reminds me of the cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. And I picture the employee and the self-employed person on the left side of the quadrant, and then the business owner and the investor on the other side of the quadrant. And I dare that Johnny is an employee, or self-employed person. And they run across the room. And if Johnny has enough guts to, instead of being an employee or self-employed person, but become an investor or become a business owner. And to do that, well, not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but whatever it takes. Because I'm going to go into the 6 curse words that an amateur entrepreneur has, these 6 curse words that might be holding you back. So here are the 6 curse words that I made up. Some of them you might have heard before, but I call it 6 curse words that the amateur. I don't know who this is, but yo, it's that's you. Hey, Michael, good. Thank you for listening in as well. But here's the 6 curse words. The first 2 curse words are 4-letter curse word, work, WORK. And then a synonym for work is effort. Those are the 2 curse words. Because, the discipline. If you were not in the military, like I was not in the military, but having the discipline, I had to go train for marathons to get that discipline. And I didn't mind, and I still love running a marathon, a half marathon, 13 miles on foot. Yay. I don't care how fast it is. I don't care how slow you are. Just the fact that you did it. The 3rd curse word is procrastination. The 4th curse word is comfortable. The 5th curse word is tired. And the 6th curse word is mediocrity. These are the curse words that could be holding you back. I'm not saying they are, but they could be holding you back. So why dream big? Let's review for those people that are just coming on right now. Maybe you want to go where the sun spends the winters on the beaches of the world. Beautiful, isn't it? What beaches have you been to? How many beaches have you been to around the world? Or maybe you want to see more ruins all around the world in over 145 countries. This is just one ruin, the Parthenon in Greece. So we did do that. But how many people here know somebody that says, my job is so sexy. I love my job. I love it. I like my job. I don't need a raise. I don't want more revenue in my business. I'm happy with things just the way they are, just flatlining. I make good money. I don't need any more money. I'm happy with what I got. Or if you're retired and you get that flat check from Social Security and you get a small little cost of living adjustment to a 2%, is you know why it's not more than 2%, right? I mean, why don't they put energy and food prices in with the cost of living adjustment or CPI inflation numbers? Man, Social Security would definitely be defunct if they did that. It'd be crazy. They don't have that in there, energy and gases. So did you know, here's your magic question of the day that I want to share with you, and that's millions of people want to own their own business. Millions of people do want to own their business, but the chicken shit. That's, pardon my French. I know I have an acronym for shit, but millions of people do want to own their own business, but they just don't because there's certain fears. There's about 7 fears that Napoleon Hill mentions in a great book called Think and Go Rich. I highly recommend that book, Think and Go Rich by Dr. Napoleon Hill. But why dream big? And I'm going to put that up here to go where the sun spends the winters on the beaches of the world. That's a reason to dream big. Or to visit more rooms around the world in 145 countries. Or to do what you want, when you want, where you want, how you want, and nobody tells you whatever you want to do. Did you know you're surrounded by millions of people who settled for something less? You are surrounded by millions of people that settle for something less. Is that you? You don't have to put in a comment. You're listening to this in the privacy of your home, on your phone, wherever. But did you know that 95%, statistically, 95% of 100 people in your phone are dead, disabled, or broke by the time they get to 65 years old? We all don't make it. Stuff happens in life. Life happens while you're making other plans. 4% are financially okay. 1% is rich. Over 10 million. That's really rich, isn't it? You think 10 million could last you? Oh, I hope you can, unless you make some pretty dumb decisions, right? So why dream big? To go where the sun spends the winters on the beaches of the world, or to go to 145 countries and visit all kinds of tourist destinations like this and get tour guides and really see the world in person instead of through the history books. What is your favorite definition of success? I'll give you mine. I'm going to repeat it 3 times because I love it that much. Success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream come true. Success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream come true. Success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream come true. But success looks different in the eyes of a 20-year-old. Is that you? Success looks different in the eyes of a 30-year-old. Is that you? Success looks different in the eyes of a 40-year-old. Is that you? Success in the eyes of a 50-year-old. Is that you? Success in the eyes of a 60-year-old. Is that you? Success in the eyes of a 70-year-old. Is that you? Success in the eyes of an 80-year-old. Is that you? Success in the eyes of a 100-year-old. Is that you? Right now, I'd like you to take a piece of paper and I want you to draw a circle on a piece of paper right now. I don't care if it's a Post-it note or open up a notebook paper and draw a circle. Looks kind of like that. And inside the circle, put a $sign. That's a S with 2 lines through it. A $sign, right? How big did you draw your circle? I dare you to text me your circle at 561-302-0051. Text me your circle. Take a picture of it and text it to me at 561-302-0051. Or email it to me at wow@omgtalk.com. That's wow@omgtalk.com. Now that circle that you drew with a $sign in it, that represents all the money you're making right now. Whether you're 20 or 70 or anywhere in between, that's all the money you're making. That's your income circle. Are you happy with it? If you're not happy with it, keep listening. If you are happy with it, sayonara, see ya. Or, hey, let's just keep in touch. You know, because we could be one of 3 things. We could be friends. We could be clients of each other, or we could be a resource. So I'm all pretty open-minded here. But now I want you to take a circle and draw it around that other circle I told you to draw. And that, my friends, is your dream circle. Your dream circle. Not a lot of people have a dream circle, but now you have a dream circle. If you had one before, I commend you. Give yourself a round of applause or a pat on the back. That dream circle is what's going to motivate you to go forward. If you're not motivated, you probably don't have the dream circle. Have you ever heard of Robert Kiyosaki's book, Cash Flow Quadrant? Well, I mentioned that cash flow quadrant earlier in a game that my family played with me when I was 13 years old, called Red Rover, send Johnny over, and Johnny and all his friends would go across the dance floor, and the last one there was out. Well, I dare you that Johnny is the employee or self-employed person running across the dance floor real quick because they have some dreams. They want to be a business owner or an investor. That the business owner does not have to be in the business to be making money from the business. You can go on vacation, you come back, and the business is making more money than when you left it. You don't have to worry about those things about theft and things like that in business because it's got a system to take care of that stuff. But why dream big? Who helps an old lady cross the road? A nice person, a mentor, a coach, a gentleman, a mensch, a distinguished Toastmaster, a kind person. Why dream big? To go where the sun spends the winters on the beaches of the world. That's why you should dream big. To go to 145 countries, to visit places like this, to go when you want, where you want, how you want. Take longer vacations than just leaving on Friday or taking Fridays off. Maybe that's something that is your hot button. Take Fridays off. Wow. Who helps an employee or self-employed person wake up and be on the other side of the dance floor and be a business owner or an investor? A coach, a mentor, a kind person, an entrepreneur, a business owner who was once an employee. So basically, the same kind of person that helps an old lady cross the street could be the same person that helps an employee or self-employed person become a business investor, a business owner, or an investor. But why dream big? To go where the sun spends the winters on the beaches of the world, or to travel, or whatever your hot button is, around the world, 145 countries. Why does it feel good? It feels so good to help somebody. Why does it feel good to mentor someone? Why does it feel good to educate someone? Who will teach you if I don't? What will happen if you don't listen to me? Are you perfectly fine? You happy with your income circle? Or would you like to expand your dream circle and use some of the tools that I have on my tool bucket today? Why don't people dream big? I'll give you about 4 reasons why people don't dream big. TikTok, TV, Netflix binge watching, other time zappers, 168 hours a week. 168 hours a week you have and I have, and that includes 7 hours of sleep every day. Some of us get 5 hours of sleep every day. Is it healthy? That's another conversation for another day. I get tired, Rhett, just thinking about it. But why dream big? To go where the sun spends the winters on the beaches of the world, to travel the world in 145 different countries and take tours, these excursions. They could be expensive. These cruises, they could be expensive. Why wait for cruises when you're 65 years old? Why not do it now? Why not be part of a plan? Listen, here's when you're going to dream big. Remember those 6 curse words I talked about earlier that might be holding you back from being an employee or self-employed to becoming a business owner or an investor? Here's one of those curse words, tired. And if sick precedes tired, maybe you are ready to dream big. If sick precedes tired, like here's an example. Sick and tired of a boss. Is that you? Sick and tired of not getting a raise. Is that you? Sick and tired of being broke. Is that you? Sick and tired of your income circle falling short of your dream circle. Is that you? So why dream big? To go where the sun spends the winters on the beaches of the world? Travel 145 different countries to visit ruins and places like this, like the Parthenon in Athens, Greece. Maybe take cruises. Maybe take Fridays off. But why don't more people do this? Because fear really has them nailed down from their boss, from themselves, from the mirror. Take fear for an acronym and write this down. False evidence appearing real. It's not real. It doesn't have to be. Think of it as forget everything and run. Lack of capital, lack of money, lack of knowledge, lack of education, lack of confidence. Toastmasters could help with this, but lack of knowledge, education. how you're going to expand your dream circle. What business are you going to get involved with? What investments are you going to get involved with? If you need some help in that department, let's keep in touch. Leave something in the comments so I can get back with you. You can email me at wow@omgtalk.com. I'm Paul, wow@omgtalk.com, or text me, dream big, at 561-302-0051. Here's 4 books I highly recommend. Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. How to Be Rich by J. Paul Getty. Excellent book. I still love that book. Love it. Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz. And Think and Go Rich by Napoleon Hill. But when you're ready to get your dream circle, you will dream big. When your income circle is falling short of your dream circle and you want more, you will dream big. Maybe you want to improve your health, then you'll dream big also. Well, I do want to thank you guys all for listening. I hope I didn't go too fast, but the beauty of this live stream, you can go back and listen to it. And the whole purpose of it is not to give you all the solutions of it, but just to give you a little bit of hope, a little bit of faith. And if you connect with anything, we're more alike, we are different. If you mowed the lawns when you were younger, if you mowed the lawns now, if you worked in a kitchen or a restaurant, or you used a snowblower up north and had to get all the snow off the driveway because you didn't want to use a shovel. If you gave up your shovel and you're living in a place like I am in the southeast of the United States, and then we're more alike than we are different, let's collaborate, let's mastermind, and let's make money together. And I'm going to give the last word to your Medicare lady, which is my better half. Let me put some information about her on the screen.
It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of healthcare, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive a free ebook written by your MedicareLady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
And again, to get that Medicare book, just email me at wow@omgtalk.com. That's wow@omgtalk.com. And put in the subject line, free Medicare book. And that will give you all the information you need. That's for all of the people that are eligible for Medicare at age 65. And then Tony, the great, amazing voiceover guy, listen to him.
You have been listening to the OMG podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG podcast segment.